Oh, that's a flying fucker. It's high tide again, so I might as well... Oh, two flying fuckers, so I might as well go over here. And, son of a bitch. Stop spawning over here. Motherfuckers. I just tried to get in a position where I could kill both of them with one, and it just didn't pan out, really. Here we go. Please aim properly, Chris. Okay, good. It was kind of necessary. It's not what I wanted to do, but it's what I had to do. Now I'm out of these, so if the mothership comes along. I mean, hey, we're good on the 8 count, so like, it could be worse. Oh, what a life! And we lose. It's okay. To not expect something like this would just have been ridiculous, you know?
Can you stall in the lobby a sec?
Okay. I mean, I can. I like a battery pack. Like, the thing I hate is that my Pro Controller doesn't respond with my charging brick that, like, specifically... It's like one of the smart charger bricks, you know? So it takes whatever personal wattage or whatever from your phone and all your devices, and then picks the best one and charges in that, and then goes from there. But it doesn't seem to work with any Switch Pro controllers. It's like, Anchor, what are you doing? I mean, it probably does, but yeah, no idea what Gavin's doing. It's fine. There are like 2 purple dots on my arm. That's kind of concerning. You can believe we're already at 300? I was like, I think I really need a third monitor. Like, now that I'm going to be playing games on one monitor, I might just buy myself a third monitor, even though I should save money.
Alright. Hello.
Are you finally ready?
Yeah, sure.
Finally.
All your problems fixed. My mom was playing with a cat as well. Hello, Hammer. We're back. Anyway, what were we saying before everything broke for me?
I don't even remember. Probably something about the game itself.
Probably. Oh yeah, who would still be playing it. You wanted to start a conversation, so let me start talking about Kingdom Hearts and you can interrupt me.
Why? you know in particular that that's not something I can reciprocate with.
I mean, that's the idea. You just interrupt me to talk about something else.
You know, I have plenty of topics that both of us have experience with.
Yeah, you actually have a topic. Well, then, yeah, go for it.
Decided to choose fucking Kingdom Hearts.
I was just making the joke that I say things and you cut me off for the other things. It's fun.
I mean, there's like you already know. There's like, it's not even like, oh, it's something I don't know. Please explain it to me. I already know everything about Kingdom Hearts. You know, it's like,
you know the donkey version, which is explicitly a jackass take the insulted.
That's not true.
That is completely true.
Like, what, up until I did 1 and 2, and I think the card game. There was that one movie version, because they're like, we don't really care about this version of the game.
It's also, those were DS games, and you're good fucking luck porting that to our system.
I just don't think they care, really.
I'm sure the games are also pretty bad on DS. So.
Whoa, I didn't know you were here.
Anyone who says they wanted to actually play Recoded is telling a lie. Anyway, yes. What do you got for me? Hit me.
Well, I actually should have done a bit of homework here because my plan was to actually know the last time we streamed this game and then have a whole timeline of what we've done since then. Granted, I haven't done a whole lot, so...
1986, Los Enfants Terribles started.
That sucks.
Oh, do you want to take the floor first then, or?
Well, you know what we can do?
Yeah.
Go on to YouTube. Low tide again. Okay, hold on.
That's right, it tells you low tide. Please forgive me.
Wow.
It has been...
I can't even remember that.
It has been too goddamn long.
How do YouTube playlists work?
Oh. Depending on where you're ordering them on your page. As in, like, as you're looking at them right now.
Still got it, baby.
Turned away from me and I was just like, ah yes, I remember this, you bastard.
How about instead of that, we talk about our deal.
Deal?
You and I made a deal where, this is hashtag mobile gaming, by the way, so like, prepare your pillows and blankets.
I'm back in half an hour.
Because yeah, just no one knows what the hell we'd be talking about. So, basically, Gavin is obsessed with a mobile game called Girls Frontline.
Really good.
I like Dragalia a lot. A healthy amount, you know. So Gavin has always wanted me to give Girls Frontline a real chance.
Also, just anyone really. I mean,
yeah,
I've convinced at
like,
least 3 people now to play it, and they've stuck with it. So.
I was gonna say, wait, who else?
2 of my, like David, and then our mutual friends, Nathan.
Wow, I thought they were normies.
David is not at all a normie. David is basically like the same as me, but different tastes.
Better tastes?
No, just different.
Okay, I was gonna say, should I be bringing David on? Okay, hold on. Let's see. Salmon Run. Oh no, it's probably at the bottom because it's when you made it.
Yeah, are you looking at my page or yours?
Mine.
Okay, yeah, probably.
Splatoon 2 story plus Octo expansion. That's not right.
I mean, that would probably be
Splatoon 2
further
lobby,
off.
That's not right.
No.
Salmon Run.
There you go.
Okay, so it looks like Mario Maker 2 if it updates like that. Oh my god. This would be better if I had a list. Also, I can't see my chat, but I do this. So.
I didn't open your chat again. I have it open. I just haven't looked at it. There we go.
It's a mess. But yeah. So the deal was I would try Girls Frontline if Gavin tried Dragalia Lost again. Yeah, again.
With the caveat that if I rolled in it all again, I was out.
Yeah. I can't believe that worked. And he didn't.
Remarkably, I'm surprised.
I mean, I'm still playing Girls Frontline. And I don't know if Gavin's still playing Dragalia. I have a feeling
I have been doing the logins, but you've been giving me no time to actually play the game. We streamed yesterday and then went on to watch your name, and it's just like, well, when am I going to play Dragalia in this?
I have plenty of time.
You do.
To play Girls Frontline, so.
But I
don't see where the problem is.
I don't. Hello, Biggs.
Well, there are 3 snipers, so that's a problem.
I just But anyway, yes.
I mean, I don't know if you could really, like, the idea was that we'd give kind of like what we thought now about we want.
Well, I'll go first, I guess.
I mean, you haven't really been playing it.
I mean, from what we played it together for 4 hours, and I have been playing it in bits and pieces.
It really didn't feel like that, if I'm being honest. Still.
It was actually close to 4 hours. But, it seems they've, like, rebalanced Regalia into something I would say is playable. As in, you know, it doesn't take, like, literally months worth of resources to do a single thing anymore. The game now has an appreciable amount of 5 stars, such that even I can get them now. Which was a problem when we're playing, where there's like very few of them and the game wouldn't give you any of them. And that's a problem because, you know, it's like, oh, well, you need better characters to get, you know, how naturally more might, so you can actually do the quest that give you materials to get the higher might weapons, and, you know, it's either pay money or just stop. And there's no guarantee if you pay the money you get anywhere. But now they're beginning to approach somewhat the Grand Blue level of generosity Cygames has with their own flagship thing.
I wouldn't say beginning.
I would say beginning.
For quite a while.
Oh yeah, fair.
They don't have a gachapin frenzy, but
I don't think they have enough units to make that work, honestly. So even with my like over a year long absence, I'm still seeing very much the same 5 faces in the gacha anytime it's not giving me the new banner characters, so
it doesn't help that they're constantly redoing events.
Yeah. And it does seem to have a bit of the... There's always like a fucking event going on, so it's trying to be like more commitment than I really want out of a mobile game. Where like, the girls frontline, I can basically just hibernate that game between events and it's fine. But, and I guess I've just been spoiled by that, because like that's another reason why I was just... Of the many reasons I kind of dropped off Fire Emblem Heroes was there was just constantly a fucking like meaningless event on at that point. Like I just don't give a shit. I don't care anymore. Even with the rewards, just I can't fucking be bothered. There's too much shit.
It was really funny. Like I was in a Twitch chat and you know everyone's talking about Fire Emblem. It's like, can I play Fire Emblem Heroes? Like, was that good for beginners? And I'm like, someone in chat was like, no, and I was like, there are actually like 50 modes in it that are all like different enough. They all have their own thing going on. It's easy to get mind boggled.
Yeah, basically, Hammer, like especially having to do shit daily just to get anywhere is just kind of like and that was also kind of a problem with Regalia initially. It seems not as bad now because the game just shits stuff into your mouth for just playing at all, which is great. And they reduce the amount of war might you need to roll, which is fantastic. Just stuff like that. Like, I haven't spent a fucking penny on Regalia Lost since I picked it back up. And I don't intend to, basically ever. But... And also, having a new iPad means the game is actually, like, visible and playable. That moment in the stream where I went and changed my graphics options and suddenly the giant green squares were now like actual visible effect boxes.
It's like I didn't even know that was the thing.
It remembered my settings were set at minimum from the other iPad and set them to like actual, I have a processor now. And it's like, oh shit, the game actually looks quite nice. It runs very smoothly, like it looks really nice. And I just continue to resent the fact that they claimed that that game was playable on an original iPad. It's like, not at all.
I mean, it was playable.
It's very debatable. You could run it on an iPad Air. Whether you could play it, that's a different question entirely.
I mean, you did play it.
I attempted to play it, let's put it like that. But yeah, no, it's... They've designed their way and patched their way out of a lot of the major issues I have with it. What is that sticking in?
That's just all we could do at that point.
Hello, Mamily, by the way. Basically using it as podcast material, essentially. That's why we're playing it again.
Yes.
Chris wanted to have his chats again, and so did I. Here we are.
What event is this? Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
grills.
I have the tent umbrella.
Oh, I did all like a.
No, well, right now I'm just giving my impressions of having returned to Dragalia Lost. And it is definitely a lot better, I will not deny. I don't know if it's completely my speed just because, you know, controlling a 3D action game thing with a touchscreen is never going to be my speed. But it is perfectly playable and functional and, you know, looks fucking nice. Music's great when, you know, they're licensing properly. Yeah. It's fine time now. And we'll see if that lasts. I may eventually end up annoying Chris for refusing to play event because I'm just kind of like, I don't want too much commitment. I don't want to do it. But we'll see.
I don't want to hear anything about that. Oh! Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Girls Frontline is interesting. The game that I played. It's actually, the way I would describe it is you barely play it, and it's more about the team building. It's like 95% team building, which for me in particular is actually really good because that's my favorite part of any of these games. You know, just building up the characters, making them more powerful, and then turning on auto battle and getting the materials to make the team better.
This is kind of why I described it as a mercenary logistics simulator in my guide post there. The one I wrote before I wrote the specific one for you.
And then the game just has a slope of story mode, more or less, where it's not like you just, okay, I'll sit down and I'll just play through a good chunk of it. It's just, you know, eventually you hit a wall and you can't really do much about it.
You have to.
So the game is mostly about timers. There's a timer. Basically, the gacha isn't really a gacha. You just use one of your 4
resources.
Overall game resources to make something, and then you just wait for a random amount of time depending on the unit. And you can do that basically as many times as you want, because the item that like is the you know, you can roll is like nigh infinite even now.
Yeah.
So it really just kind of comes down to your resources in the end, which, you know, you kind of want to save up for those because you use them for everything else as well. But so getting units isn't a problem. And the game's been spoiling me because I've been getting a lot of good ones. So I have no idea.
Ultra rare in like the first few days. He got AK-12 the first few days. I fucking backflipped up my own asshole.
Like, I have no idea what the game progresses like for a normal person, but it has, even then, it has a system where to basically like improve your bigger units, you need more of a certain material.
Yeah.
That is hard to come by, so sometimes it's just better to use the baby ones because then they get their upgrades
very cheap to upgrade
more easily. Yeah, which is an interesting balance quirk, but it's not really something I'm interested in. I kind of don't like thinking, so like I just want to make my team what it's gonna be in the end, and then work from there. But I mean, so far it's been working, so it could be worse. Yeah, there's a timer for rolling. There's a timer for, you know, building equipment. There's a timer for upgrading your units. There's a timer for repairing your units after, you know, because the damage they take in fights doesn't regenerate.
Yep.
You have to physically do that yourself, which sounds bad, like it's like it halts progress, but that's basically the stamina in this game.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have stamina, but that is the stamina. So, and you know, like every other mobile game, they just give you an infinite amount of stamina regenerating items, so that you don't. It's not actually a problem.
You just get drowned in them. I have 500 of the fucking things.
Yeah, so you just get a thing that allows them to be repaired immediately, and I have like 140 already. So
Sounds about right, yeah.
that's the thing. But it doesn't come without its problems. That's for sure, this whole setup. Where basically, I believe that the game kind of, like, you either have to have an infinite amount of foresight or, like, sit down and plan out your day, or you just have to wait for the game to tell you when to play it instead of like, oh, I'm at this dog's house and, you know, I have nothing to do, it's longer than I thought, so I'm gonna sit down and play Girls Frontline. That's not really how it works half the time. Or at least for me.
Not yet, I should say, because you're still actually getting to
Ah! Whoa! Because you're like, oh, I'm gonna put this character in one of my main teams in the upgrade bay, and then that's a few hours, right? And then
the skill training.
You can't, like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, yeah. But the only way to get them out is to quick it, like make it end sooner. You can't just pull them out.
The quick trading contracts are the rarest goddamn thing of the game.
Yeah, which is a problem because, you know, then you're literally stuck waiting there. Oh, come on. Whoa. Like, you literally cannot play the game. And there are other things that are like that, too. It just, that you can't really think of what comes to mind. There are at least, like, 2 other kind of things like that where you put your team in a thing and then you can't use them because, you know, it would be just a very bad idea to pull them out of it immediately. Or not pull them out, but, you know. And that just kind of feels bad if it's a thing where you can pull them out, but, like, they're already over halfway through and they've been in there for 3 hours. Yeah. That just kind of feels bad. It's not necessarily actually that bad, but it just feels bad to do. And that's the thing is, you can't upgrade, or you can't upgrade your units while they're doing something like that. You can't change them while they're doing something like that. You can't change their equipment while they're doing something like that. And that just makes it very clunky because it's like, okay, I want to rebalance my teams because I got something in the gacha that I, you know, want to put up in my main team and then move everyone else down, but you can't do that because you can't upgrade anything, and that's something that I think they could have very easily changed because it doesn't really affect anything. But it's kind of like a thing where it's like, oh, we want it to be kind of realistic. They're not at the base, so you can't do it, even though it's a video game, and convenience should come before that. But I mean,
wait,
so far,
as a big art games or art fucker, I'll challenge you. I'll fight you on that one at some point. But on that specific point of it's a game, so it should be convenient. I mean, but, yeah.
I mean, like, if it's a game that's meant to be inconvenient, sure. But like, for something like this, I don't really see a reason for it to be like that. Other than because then, you know, oh, I'm afraid I'm gonna forget, or like, because, you know, you put the game down and you continue on with your life, and then you're like, okay, time to play the game. It's like, oh, I forgot to do the thing, and then I put someone else in there, and it's just a clusterfuck. Oh wow, we have 90 close.
Yeah, nah, we're boned. What's a hell of Evan?
Evan, Salmon Run.
I want to see your deep dream art of calaveras in my movie. I want to see the neon trippy skulls. But yeah, like, part of it is like all the management and planning shit. I would say it's a matter of perspective, I guess, but I would say that is playing the game, and I really like that end of it. I guess call me boring, maybe it's the fact that I'm a software engineer and basically rearranging everything is my entire job, but...
I mean, I have like OCPD, so I don't know if it's...
Oh right, you actually do have
on the
like
extreme, but it's like basically I schedule everything in my day out, and then when it doesn't go that way, I'm like, it like makes me anxious or just like makes me not like, oh, I didn't stream today, you know,
Yeah.
like even though I said I was going to. So it's kind of like, you know, okay, because I know I'm gonna be away for like 3 hours, I'm gonna put these guys in for 3 hours, and then when I get home and I'm waiting for Gavin or whatever eating lunch, then I can play the game because I want to progress. But then it's snowing outside apparently. This happened today,
Okay.
and so I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to drive into snow because it's like extremely risky. So I kind of want to stay at the dog's place until the second visit because it's like really short in between. So I was like, okay, well, I can't really play the game now. And then it was like, oh, but I was also like, you know, I was gonna go get a haircut because I have Mo hair right now, and like Mo from the Three Stooges.
Okay.
And I hate it. So that was gonna, you know, kind of extend the time, and then obviously because it's snowing, I didn't want to drive down there. I wanted to do as little driving as possible, so that's less time on the clock, and it's like, so well, and then you can only do so much with the game when you aren't actually playing it. Like, you know, repair contracts make it so when you are playing it, it's good, but you know, like you have to kind of be ready to play it, and that screwed me up. And I was like, oh great, what do I do now? Because I did everything in Dragalia.
You do eventually reach a decadent state where none of this becomes an issue, and you can just chop and change and rearrange as you like on the fly. You'll just have so much shit that it literally doesn't matter anymore.
I mean, from the people that came into my Twitch chat, which you know are turbo nerds, and I say in an endearing way, by the way, like because, you know, they love their game enough to look it up on the Twitch archive
And read, like, someone.
and like, yeah, and watch it and stuff. Like, but those people are complaining that, oh yeah, these quick things are rare, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, well, I guess it's never gonna get better.
I mean, quick repair, they're not quick. Quick training never gets better. Everything else basically does. Part of it is that because you're still establishing all your teams, you don't have anyone who you can always just completely rely on just yet, for instance. Whereas once you get like that first like set of that first team who will get to all like level 90 X5, like that's them, like they're set. You can just always have them, and they can just, you know, stomp shit and play the game with you, while like, you know, your new guys are training and all the rest of it.
Yeah, because it's like you never know who's actually the best. Because, like, it's funny because Gavin said don't go on Game Press.
Yeah.
but
Don't tell me.
But I did. I did anyway, and it's funny because their tier list page says, you know, units have a bunch of different uses. Like you might throw out one because, you know, like one that's useful in a specific mode because we said it's not that good for like a majority of the other content, and put it pretty low.
Covering their ass after they said Nega was completely shit and shouldn't be used when she's the single best unit to be used for the end game.
Yeah, so they're like, so we're just giving descriptions of each of them, and then like half of them are like, you know, this person has a lower rate of fire than this person. Like,
yeah, a lot of it's also like, you should just use 45, and then you read 45's page and like, she's shit, you should use someone else. It's like, good sight writing, guys.
Like,
that's also not true, by the way. It's one of the best submachine guns in the game.
Like, you're basically tiering them anyway.
Yeah.
You might as well just have like a tier list for night battles, a tier list for support units, you know, and then tier them there because you're already doing.
I mean, this is why I'm saying don't use Game Press, because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about or doing, and half the time when they tell you advice, they're completely wrong anyway. Like, you know, like that's just kind of the short of it, is that they have presumably had some sort of like reader-based schism that made them have to write this disclaimer, but they haven't changed any of the info, and the people who wrote the bad info are still writing bad info. So, you know, just don't use it. They're bad and shit. A lot of it really is just learn by doing.
Yeah, the point is that I don't know like which units I have are actually good and which units are better that I can potentially get. So it's like I'm like upgrading my team and then I roll someone. It's like, oh, that's better than this person that you literally just spent all of your level up materials
Part of it
on.
is that
It's
you're
like,
also
oh,
building a lot faster than I ever did at the start. And I do mean a lot. Part of that's because you can afford to. The Ford BS giving you shit. But, you know. Also, yes, Amanda, you are a terrible nerd.
Also, for the record, the names are so unintuitive to remember. I still don't know the names of, like, even my favorite units on my main team. I still don't know the names of them.
I think that's a you thing.
Like, I think one of them has a G in it. And it's like, okay, like, they're all gun names, but, like, do we have nicknames or something?
I mean, that's part
like,
of why
easier
I've
for
been,
me to
like,
remember than
giving you
a Kapshka.
the nicknames of the ones that do have nicknames. Like G11, who's also known as Sleepo People.
No, I mean, like, that's relative to their actual name. Yeah, I heard. We were watching your name while you streamed. I was like, I completely forgot that was a thing. So I felt bad, but I mean, you have to understand that it was worth it.
That movie is so goddamn good.
I mean, we could segue into that if you want. That was on my list.
Yeah, sure.
Without any spoilers, by the way, because you know it's my favorite movie of all time, and I think everyone should watch it.
It's not my favorite movie of all time, but I concur that it is like pretty much like one of the best anime films I've seen and one of the best films I've seen in general. It is.
What's your favorite movie of all time?
I don't know, but I'd have to like weigh it all up because it's kind of like off the top of my head, I was either immediately gonna say like The Raid or Terminator 2, but
I mean, from my knowledge of you, I would be like, yeah, probably Terminator 2.
Also, yes, being a turbo nerd makes you more powerful than normal nerds, and I'm rise to your title. But that's like movies in general. Die Hard's also up there. Yeah. And I got snicked, and I'm still getting snicked because there's green ink everywhere, and I can't move.
It was basically like, I saw Weathering with You, and I said it was good, and Gavin's like, I'm interested, and then I'm like,
I had been interested since I'd seen it getting a UK release, and I was like, yeah, more anime films, do it. It looked good.
I was like, hold on, don't watch that before watching Your Name. Not because it's like a sequel or anything, but because the director has a very similar kind of romantic, like relationship with the characters. Not like it's, you know, one for one or anything, but it was reminiscent enough of Your Name, even though I saw that like 3 years ago, that I was like, okay, but like I like Weathering with You, but I don't want that to take away from anyone's opinion of Your Name. They go like, well, yeah, I kind of experienced this before, so you know, it's getting cliche or something like that. I don't want anyone to think that. So we watched Your Name.
Yeah. I'm not really just thought when you said you were watching Your Name, you were looking for my name in the chat. But yes, it is an impeccably good film. Just from a general filmmaking standpoint, and also just from having a story that at one point just had me on the edge of my goddamn seat for the best part of half an hour. If not more. I don't know the exact length of when that bit happened to when it ended. But it was just genuine, the edge of my seat just going like fucking like brain racing, going like, oh my god, like fuck. And then after the movie finished, I was just kind of buzzing and vibrating with just an energy and just being like, emotions are still processing themselves. Yeah. Registering everything, just going like over it in my head, going like, oh, yeah, there's this in the movie, and like, oh, and that happened, and it's fucking great. I was. You know, like, I wasn't the sort to like tear up out of it. It did make me just like, it did get me.
Yeah, it's like it's not one of those movies where you know, it only works if you're an emotional person.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just that's kind of like the icing on the cake, the strawberry on the shortcake, as it were.
That is a goddamn good movie. And it's especially stunning because his previous film, The Garden of Words, was goddamn shit. Because Your Name is basically just like... It feels, at least partially for a bit, like calling a do-over and doing Garden of Words, but like as an actual written film that has things going on. And then it just becomes its own thing and even better. Because a big part of the problem with Garden of Words was that it just didn't have an ending. It just stopped. Like after 40 minutes. And like literally the movie ends at 40 minutes, it just stopped. And it's like,
That's it?
Around the point where I thought Your Name was wrapping up, it, you know, it then just keeps going and it's like, ooh.
Oh shit, you have the thing?
I don't. I have grenades. But yeah, no, it's fucking brilliant movie. Absolutely gorgeous. Soundtrack is just wall-to-wall bangers. Like, you could almost nod along to the soundtrack and the animation, because they're both like synced and done so well. The characters are great and endearing. I've had a recent problem with a lot of anime where like it feels like they just can't write male main protagonists at all. They're always just goddamn trash heaps who I hate. And in any good society it would be just, you know, kicked into a bin and left there. But, you know, this actually writes a goddamn fun and interesting human being for its male protagonist, so that's good. I mean, basically anything outside of Trigger can't write a male protagonist anymore, it feels like. But yeah, it's really good, really endearing, very emotional movie that does, like, just fucking get you going. It will fucking get you one way or another. And yeah, I would just automatically recommend that to anyone, just all the time. And at some point over, like, if not this weekend, then, as in the weekend coming, or next week, it'll be next week, I will go see Weathering Feud. And that's it.
Does it not end on Thursday?
Nope.
The show?
There's a theater here, the Queen's Film Theater, a little indie theater at the university I went to. We're doing their run of it on Friday coming and all through the next week.
Oh wait, so it's not on for you now, is it?
No, it is, but the one that's on now was like a double bill of Your Name and Weathering Review. And I hadn't watched Your Name at that point, and I did want to see it. I don't like going to double bills. I went to a double bill once of Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman, and I've never regretted anything more in my life.
Well, but those are bad movies.
Well, it's not just that they're bad movies, it's also that after the length of one film, your average cinema's like theater seats starts to just hurt my ass, and it just feels uncomfortable, and I keep shuffling going, argh.
That's what it was like with Promare. They had a double showing of something, and I was like, not interested. Because it's like, at the end of one movie, I think I'm done.
I don't mind watching multiple movies, I just need, like, you know, a comfy thing to sit on or be at. Like, the sofas in my house or my bed, or, you know, just not a fairly stiff cinema chair. Which is fine for one movie, but after that, it starts making me flustered and iffy. I'm not even going to rise to that at the moment.
If I'm being honest, I don't like movie theaters because I can't feel comfortable with myself because there are people around. Oh, like, I want to laugh, but then, like, I don't want to laugh because, you know, might annoy the person next to me,
I've
or like.
long since resigned myself to just not giving a shit what people care, but you know, I'm something of a cunt anyway.
It's like even just how I'm sitting, like, is something I'm conscious of when someone's sitting even just one seat over, or 2 seats over, I guess by that point. But
also, I watch Batman vs Superman because my friends keep wanting to see comic book movies, or at least at that time did, and it was like, well, you know, worst case scenario, I can sit there next to David and the both of us can just shit talk the movie throughout. Going to the Konosuba movie alone was an interesting one.
yeah, that I don't know if I would have the balls to do that.
I mean, I was among my kind there, so you know. I don't give a
like,
shit.
Konosuba is like an anime that I don't like to say that I liked it, but I did.
Remarkable amount of girls in that theater, and that's what tickled me. I don't think you ever said how you first watched Dragon Ball Evolution, Hamamli, no. It's never come up and never should, frankly.
Yeah, I was like, after that point, I realized, like, because you're like, oh yeah, we'll watch it on my Blu-ray, because I didn't want Gavin to have lag or something. I was like, oh yeah, I don't have that yet. So I bought it. It's coming on Monday.
Wait, you're getting the movie on Blu-ray now?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. We don't even have it released announced yet.
Oh, really?
No. It will come eventually,
Like,
but like, still.
I mean, there's like a special edition that's still being sold, so I got that.
Well, that's good.
And I looked at my bank account and I'm like, oh, what happened? And I'm like, oh yeah.
Okay, next weekend, let's watch the Konosuba movie. That's fucking great. Watch Konosuba. It's like, it's goddamn funny. It's like the best isekai ever.
It has fan service.
Oh, it has tits,
you
but
call
if
it
you're
that,
watching,
at
if you're
least.
watching anime, you're in for that. Who cares? And if you're like, well, that disturbs me, I'm kind of like, well, why are you here?
But it's like, the thing is, despite that, it has more good points than like awkward points like that. There's some like actually bad.
Not everyone calls that
things.
awkward points, mind you. Sure. I feel like it fit the entire tone and humor of the show because that was half the point. Actually, on that note, what did you consider a bad point of Konosuba? Thinking about it.
One line in the succubus part sticks out to me. I'm sure there were 2 other things like that concerning one of the main characters using one of the cursed words.
I genuinely don't remember.
I don't even want to say it.
Well, don't say it.
Yeah, I think the plan is, if Luke agrees or just isn't doing some dumb shit with the schedule, I get your name on Monday, and then we watched your name on Monday, and then we go see whether it's with you on Tuesday.
Oh, right, no, I see what you mean, right. That's what I was like, you said Konosuba was also Monday, I was like, wait, did you mix the films up? But no.
Did I say Konosuba was also Monday?
I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah.
You said you ordered it Monday, or you were getting it Monday, one of the two?
No, that was your name. Did I say Konosuba instead of your name? Ah!
When we were talking about the Konosuba movie, I'm pretty sure you said Monday.
I don't know. I didn't get to watch that because that was a month before we watched it.
Yeah,
so.
but is it coming to Blu-ray there now, or?
I don't know.
Okay, so you were saying Konosuba when you meant your name.
I mean, yeah, probably. You're the one who is keeping track of that now. So you'll tell me when we can watch it.
Okay.
More or
We are
less.
waiting for a UK Blu-ray release.
I mean, if the UK doesn't have your name 3 years later, maybe I should be checking that.
No, we do have. We watched my Blu-ray of your name.
Oh yeah, what the hell were you? Oh wait,
Come on, over the movie.
that was me. Okay.
Are you here for this conversation?
I'm playing Salmon Run as well. I guess we aren't quite there yet, but anime. And we're watching MILF anime now, and so far so not good. But I'll give it a chance because the concept is interesting, but I don't think they're gonna execute it well.
No. But we're just there for the MILF anyway, let's be real. That's Okasan Online, if you're wondering.
Yeah, because when you think about it, there are probably a lot of those.
New Dragon Ball. I hadn't really watched much of it. The movie was kind of shit. Later, while I watched the show, I remember the movie, and I was just thinking, did they even try to make anything vaguely resembling a show? It's basically an insult to fans. Yeah, Dragon Ball Evolution is just straight up a insult to fans and fucking Dragon Ball itself, really. Let's take Dragon Ball.
Is that new thing that just came out?
No, it was the live action American take of Dragon Ball, where it's like we're going to adapt to the original Dragon Ball, but we're going to set it in an American high school, and Goku's going to be bullied for some reason, and he's going to be like this unassuming white dork who's like very soft and everything, and you know, not at all Goku in any way. And he's going to be bullied and called Giku, and it was so bad. It was just the worst.
Isn't
It genuinely at points just felt straight up like almost like this was made with some sort of like pseudo racist intent to just completely disrespect a foreign property. That's how bad it was. I began to think like it was done on purpose because they fucking hated people who weren't American.
Oh come on, really? Isn't that new Dragon Ball thing also garbage?
No. From all I've seen of it, it looks, you know, like a fairly functional Dragon Ball game. It does some goofy things with lore, but you know, it's there. It exists. Hello, Super Gen 12. David's playing it right now, and he seemed content enough with it.
So I only like heard a few bad things.
Yeah, but you know, like every time that you say this, you listen to like a Twitch streamer who hates everything that isn't Nintendo.
I think it was a rando on Twitter.
That's even worse.
Like you can't just retcon this thing or whatever.
Oh no, yeah, it does like a stupid like. I assume it's some sort of like bizarre translation goof where like they either didn't know what it was talking about, the translator, or they just, I don't know, there was like some attempt to rewrite a basic simple detail of Piccolo blowing up the moon or something, which happens. That's the plot point.
No, it was an illusion.
Oh yeah, no, the game tried to say, oh, it was an illusion of the moon. It's like, no, he just blew up the moon and they wished it back later. I don't even think they wished it back later. I think there's just no moon in that world now. It's actually the second time the moon got blown up, but for the same reason both times, too. Dragon Ball's an interesting series. You gotta blow up the moon to stop a giant monkey.
It sounds like they do that all the time.
Fairly reliably. Oh. Yeah, we're gonna see weather and review on the weekend.
It's also extremely good. I don't really have a metric for my favorite movies beyond top 3, so...
That's fair. I don't even have that.
Like,
I just
no
have a cluster of movies I say are like extremely good and I would always watch. Good Jesus. Fuck me, Christ. Fuck me, Christ. So many goddamn snakes.
Oh.
The same goddamn snake is doing a very good job at blocking me.
think still got that. Despite the wire getting in the way. Pretty good. Remember to use your special skills wave 3. See what else was there. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Smash Brothers.
Hammer leave chat
it's like
now.
Pokemon. It's like Pokemon where I like don't even know if I want to bother. You know? It's like what's the point?
I mean, like, it is an extremely obvious choice in retrospect. But
I mean, I fully expected it as the post-Fighters Pass thing. Like, I thought Violet was going to be the one right after that, like, guaranteed.
Ah, yeah. And, like, because, like, Aki pointed out on Twitter that Three Houses inexplicably didn't have a spirit board for ages, and it's kind of like, okay, yeah, that's a pretty big tell.
And then they put one up for, what's that game? The dog mascot. Astral Chain.
Oh, yeah.
They put one for Astral Chain up as well. It's like, well.
Deconfirmed.
Deconfirmed.
Oh, good, I'm in my life. How did that get none of you?
Because you're too high up, remember?
No, I don't.
It doesn't actually come from the ground, it comes from you.
Distance way me.
I mean, as far as like character themselves, they go pretty much like a heavy character, which is good because more heavy characters is good. So I hope they're good.
Really? Like,
because a lot of heavy characters don't seem good.
I refute that entirely. Bowser's great.
Bowser's like probably the best. Everyone shits on Donkey Kong. Luke mains DK. It's like it's so sad, but Donkey Kong is funny. But like it's like how Piranha Plant is a heavy character. Did you know that? Piranha Plant's a heavy character despite not looking like it. I'm almost certain Byleth is. Based on how slow a lot of their moves are.
I didn't.
And the one move that's just Ganon's up tilt. Or but what is the move I'm thinking of specifically? It's like Hash and Mambo with super armor, more or less.
I maintain. Yeah.
Sakurai was pointing out, oh yeah, you can just easily counter this, and then it'll like kill them immediately because it's so powerful and it's easy to avoid. And then the arrow that goes all the way across the screen. Yeah, if you have a reflector or like anything that can deal with projectiles, like it's pretty easy. I'm like, Sakurai, you're supposed to be selling us on this character, not saying two of their moves have pretty big flaw points here.
But I maintain that I fully believe that while this was decided ages ago, after a point, Sakurai specifically began to build this explicitly to cause chaos, because his smile when he was putting up like the posters after the reveal trailer, he knew what the reactions were being, and he was laughing to himself.
No, he's just a nice man who's happy that characters he got to work on are in the game now, finally.
And he is actually just enjoying the rampage he's caused. I do not blame him. I fully headcanon that he hates the Smash fan base, and by completely rightly, he should. That said, I would probably care more about Byleth if I had played Three Houses by this point, but I haven't yet.
Yeah, but even then, it's like even the Fire Emblem fans aren't entirely too happy because it's either like I had bigger picks or like it should have been someone else, even though that was an impossibility because
actually, if you pick one of the lords, you have to do all three lords. There's no way around it.
Yeah. So like that would be ridiculous. It's just like, and then obviously ever since Corn was the big bad one because Fates wasn't even good. So like at least Three Houses is good, but now it has the whole Corn mindset behind it. So that's why everyone is extremely angry.
Everyone's extremely angry because their list of inexplicable wants like Shantae or Banana Waddle Dee didn't get in. That's not like protect the Shrieky fan base for being absolute children about this.
I mean, I will protect that it was a bad call to have the first four of the five fighters be third party.
Yeah,
and then
I do kind of agree with that. I feel like if you should have opened or had Byleth early on.
Yeah, like have Byleth as 3 or something.
Yeah.
And then that would give the people who want actual Nintendo characters hope, like me. As much as I love third-party reveals because their hype is heck and, even kind of get you interested in other games, like with Terry.
When's fighting game streams, Chris?
You still love the Nintendo characters. And not just because Paper Mario is the only character I actually want. But, yeah, there are a lot of good Nintendo characters still in there as well, like Luigi.
Is Luigi a character, really?
Yes.
That feels like a bandana Waddle Dee here sort of thing. It's like, no.
I still think bandana Waddle Dee makes sense.
I think that is like the only legitimate call for waste of a slot that this game could ever have.
Because Kirby's huge. Waddle Dees have been in the series forever, and that's just a notable one.
I mean, you might as well have a Goomba, and a Goomba would also be a waste of a slot.
Waddle Dees.
Oh, they don't. I don't.
Yeah, but they did. Called Piranha Plant, more or less. And I like Piranha Plant because of that concept, Like, it makes sense. It would fit.
But it's also distinctly more novel than I am a small nugget that just uses standard weapons.
Like, Goomba was added in Super Mario Party. It's like, where were you? Like, Blooper got in 3 games before you. Fucking Blooper.
Both of those are fucking tragic choices. Like that just kind of speaks to me how like miserable Mario Party has gotten that's what they're doing.
Well, they put Bowser in and then a bunch of enemies. That was kind of the thing.
It's really stupid.
The opening is like Bowser just comes like they're like, all right, time to play the board game and see who's the superstar. Bowser's like, hold up, what if one of us is the superstar? Huh? Did you ever think about that, bitch?
Oh, racist.
It's like, you know what, Bowser? Bowser, you have a point. Yeah, I mean, because, like with Terry, admittedly, I wasn't plussed by Terry because I didn't know who he was, and, like, fighting game character, whatever, not my thing. But then Luke started maining Terry, and it's just, like, he's a really fun character to watch, even if he can be 9-framed, so... in the end, Terry was like a great addition. I'm pretty sure Byleth is also going to be a great addition, even if Luke... Luke is probably not even going to try them, to be honest, but...
Are you going to play as him, though?
I can only play as Yoshi.
Well, so now's the time.
I was talking about it, actually. I think I tweeted about it, where it's like, they're slow on the ground, and then I was like, expecting to say, but they have fast airspeed? But they have fast airspeed so that I can, kind of relay them to Yoshi and play as them? Maybe? No?
You need to just go into, like, the little Mac hyperbolic chamber and, not come out until you never jump again.
It's like the closest character to Yoshi is Jigglypuff. And I could probably rock an amazing Jigglypuff. But I am against Jigglypuff as a character, as a Pokemon, but especially as a Smash character. Because Jigglypuff doesn't even deserve to get in. If you want a character who doesn't deserve to get in, it's fucking Jigglypuff.
I refute that entirely.
Oh, Jigglypuff was in Smash 64, only because it was a meme in the anime. That's it.
The anime that helped make Pokemon a world-dominating force.
It's not even a good Pokemon, so... I refuse to play Jigglypuff. Also, isn't Hungrybox a dick and he mains Jigglypuff in Melee or something?
I mean, yeah, but then, like, all the Melee players are, like, massive dicks, so by association, like, like Fox, Marth, Ice Climbers, none of them should be in ever.
I mean, no one's about to play Ice Climbers.
The thing is, I wouldn't mind Shantae as a character, it's just, like, if you see like a major mainline Nintendo character getting in over Shantae and you start screeching like that's an impossibility and unfair, like I want to know like what fucked up like neo anti-world you live in where that would ever be just.
I mean, I haven't seen a Shantae Smash thing in eons, but
I saw quite a
it's
few
like
in the outrage from, uh, the outrage from Byleth.
like Shantae can be a me costume.
She could.
That'd fit, I think.
She could be like the melee one, the fist fighter one.
Because she doesn't use a gun or whatever the other me fighter is.
I mean, I guess she could use her hair whip like a sword. That'd be funny.
That would require new animations.
That would, yeah. So
me fighter, like not even Sans gets. So
I mean, I guess like really, actually, I think she'd actually be better as like an assist trophy that just like does her dance to turn into an animal and do something.
yeah, well, but that's already taken by whatever that kid's name is. He yells in Japanese and then turns into a frog and makes the cartoon fighting smoke cloud appear. It's just the thing about assist trophies is no one wants them because no one wants to play with items, so they basically don't exist.
Well, they're doing that to themselves.
Whereas, like, at least people play as the Miis, because this isn't Smash 4 where they were illegal in, like, tournaments and stuff, so... I don't even remember if Miis were allowed online. I think they weren't allowed online.
I don't remember. I never used them because like.
Which is like, why would you ever main this character?
I would never use these abominations before God ever. So.
Okay, now I wonder what the Smash players are gonna do. Because, they just started calling me Gunner Sans, which is my favorite joke.
I mean that's good.
But now what are they gonna do now that Cuphead is also a me gunner?
Just alternate names. There's like an assist trophy character for like the lead of like a Nintendo game, like
Legend of Sable, I think, something like that.
Something like that, and he's an assist trophy in Smash Ultimate.
I think he was also in Smash 4.
I wouldn't remember him. He actually appears, if I remember right, in Link's Awakening as a little gag reference because that was also on Game Boy.
Yeah, that game needs more original content. I'm sick of that game.
I haven't played the remake yet. It's sitting here and I need to get to it. Oh, right, it's this one. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, just like... And I mean, I refute the, like... It's true, and it'll make me sound like one of the ungrateful people. But it's like, for the people who are like, there's 6 more, like, calm down, there's 6 more. That's like... at least several months more of waiting for a potential reveal of them, let alone them coming in the game. So it's like, I'd rather have the character I want first. I don't think it's a very unreasonable statement.
I mean, like, Smash Ultimate has already been, like, extraordinarily kind to my exact wants and needs, so,
Yeah, it's like, if I ever actually played Smash again and actually could learn a character other than Yoshi, it'd probably be Banjo. Just because he's the most animated character in the game, and he has all the sound effects that I like. So
he also has like this fucking deathly stare that looks like he's on a constant, like the edge of a rage fit.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that to his torso. Also,
Microsoft mandated to make him look buff.
Not a fan of that at all.
That is, by the way, like why Cuphead got in, because it's it's a Microsoft boon essentially, that whole partnership to like Cuphead to get on Switch.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even be surprised if Cuphead was like one of the top selling.
I wouldn't be surprised either. It's very much like this is a thing Nintendo fans would eat the living shit out of. You know what I mean? Because the Switch fan base is already very, very kind to indie games in terms of sales.
Like, I kind of hope that all DLC starts coming with a Mii fighter that's just a full reskin of an indie character.
That would be neat.
Because it's such a cool concept. It's like, you're putting indie characters into the game as fighters, but, like, not really,
Yeah.
So people are saying, like, Hollow Knight for Mii Sword Fighter, and I think that'd be cool. I haven't played Hollow Knight, but, Everyone says it's good. Everyone except Luke. So everyone says it's good.
I still have to play it. You got it for me for Christmas at one point. It's still on the list to do.
Because it seems like a very Gavin core kind of game. Ah!
I like that that's become a term you're using.
Yeah.
I didn't pick up a thing, goddammit.
Core. Okay, this works. It's like, I'm like middling on Byleth, I'd say. Like,
basically.
I'm almost certain I'm gonna like them in the game. So like, and
I still don't have the fighter pass at all, so I don't have any of them. I've never tried any of them. At some point I will
like
get it and
anyway,
actually
so
try these characters. But
it was definitely a hype killer. That is for sure. And then now we have more months of people. Like, at least if they kicked off one of the characters that everyone keeps wanting in the game, then that will shut some fraction of the people off.
I kind of don't want that, because then it's like, well, you can pick Waluigi or Bandana Wallaby, and or no, you can pick good characters. Like, at this point, I'd rather like largely not listen to the fans unless it's one that's actually genuinely interesting, like fucking like Banjo was.
I don't think Banjo was that interesting. Banjo was Geno too.
When Banjo was a very interesting choice for me, just because of what it says about how Nintendo and Microsoft are getting along.
Yeah, there's that. But I know like Banjo is more prominent than Geno, but it had the same vibe as like he's been dead for years. Like, him coming back now would be weird for Smash, like not even with his own game or anything. And then it happened, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, I'm glad. Do you think Geno's gonna get in?
Honestly, I feel like he's gonna be the 11th. I feel like they're gonna wait all. They're gonna wait all the way to the fucking end, and Sakurai's gonna enjoy every last goddamn second of it, and then then it'll happen.
You know, Toaster Man?
Oh yeah, him.
Pops in my chat occasionally.
Yeah.
He really wants Geno in Smash. He's always wanted Geno in Smash. So every time there's an announcement, he streams just in case Geno's added. So that would be really funny if we had like another 2 years of that.
I feel kind of sorry. I can't understand why he seems mad all the time.
He was really he pulled up Bloon's tower defense during the Byleth part. He was just so upset. But, I mean, Smash fans do bring up a point. Why the blue hair again? Is that just a thing that like they all gotta have? The Fire Emblem, main characters, the blue hair.
Byleth's hair is green.
No, Kevin.
No, it's green.
I'm not gonna say anything, but it's blue.
No, it's green.
You gotta. It becomes green. But it
starts as a dark green, yeah. Like a watery dark green, but it starts as a dark green.
I think you have to get your monitor checked.
I think the guy who wears glasses probably doesn't have the best vision.
That does nothing to do with color. If I took off my glasses, I'd still be able to see the color. I would just be worried. Please get your facts straight.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed was a weird fucking costume to get.
Yeah, I fucking didn't even remember. Like, I don't give a shit about Assassin's Creed, so I didn't even commit it to memory. But like, no one was talking about it too. They're just like, oh, Assassin's Creed, that's weird, and then that's it.
The rabbits came up and I was like, okay, just skip through the skip through the VOD. A good like 20 seconds. The weird thing to me about the Assassin's Creed one was the logo wasn't even Assassin's Creed, it was just Altair, which is the original assassin from like the first Assassin's Creed game, as if he's his own brand, but he's not.
Why isn't it Ezio?
Because Ezio
isn't Ezio the popular
He
one?
is, he's also, the good one.
So why not him?
I don't know. He also would have had a better and more striking looking costume.
Yo, God, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna make a me costume for Travis.
It was Assassin's Creed in all the regions, but Altair in the American one. That's okay. So Chris had sent me the American VOD, and that's what I had watched. That's very weird. That is very, very weird.
Also, I'm back in the groove, by the way. Like, I have not been paying attention to Salmon Run at all. The wire in the controller doesn't bother me. And the lack of sound affects nothing.
He's back.
So
He's back, ladies and gentlemen.
that's all it took. I mean, at least they acknowledged the sword thing and then gave them like different weapons as well.
Yeah.
Like, that's interesting. And it's funny, just like people drawing fan art of like Viola just taking all of the three lords' weapons and then, you know, them being taken over by a swarm of enemies because they can't defend themselves.
My favorite gag was pointing out how male Byleth is completely serious and female Byleth just looks like she's stoned out of her mind.
Even though that's not how it's been forever. Apparently, like, female Violet never smiles. And then just in the trailer, that's all she was.
Yeah. So I haven't played Three Houses, but I'm pretty sure like Sophos would probably be my favorite character because she's a tiny little shit that sasses you all the time.
That's what I was thinking too. It's like in Fire Emblem Heroes too. Ah, she seems good.
Sophos is a sass monster. Good to know. Probably gonna like her the most then.
It's all a meme that was, you know, the like when you're sad, that's because there's a tiny little gremlin in your head. Take him out and beat him. Zap him, Sophos.
God. You can marry her as either gender. But isn't she like in your head? What? Don't spoilers. Spoilers, I guess. Whatever.
Don't even ask. Yeah, you see, that's like a question you're literally asking for. Spoilers.
Yeah. Okay. No. Don't answer. But
and I think I know the answer. Thanks, Sakurai. But don't worry about it.
how they agree with me that Dark Souls was the most important game of the decade. I also insist Dark Souls be the most important game of the next decade.
I mean, my man has an amiibo, so where is he?
I'm surprised that hasn't been a Mii fighter yet.
Like, there are six whole characters. Like, all those wild ones, it's like, because there's six of them, it could be anyone now. It's like, you know, you go, oh, well, you know, Dark Souls would be my, like, fifth pick. Like, there are four other characters that I think are more important. Well, guess what, buddy? That means that you could get in. That's, like, crazy. I do worry about Sakurai, though. I have a feeling that he's not as involved as he used to be, if there are going to be six more.
I feel like he probably, like, picks and probably does, like, some basic production, you know, like, oversight work and shit. I don't think he actually does any...
Yeah, any, like, of the programming.
I mean, I don't think he's done that, like, fucking ever after, like, the first Smash Brothers, but... I imagine he's not, like, in a director's role or anything for this shit. I imagine he's just, like, production, like, producer oversight. And I think that too. I think like after Ultimate, he's probably just done. And honestly,
yeah.
Dude, like he should be.
That's why he's putting six more characters.
Yeah,
in.
like let him have his like grand send off and everything. Like, absolutely, let him like pick six more choices. You know, have all this goddamn fun, and then you know just like let him go, let him rest. Sakurai had a hard life.
So how many Mario characters are in Smash? Just for reference here.
I don't know.
Because we're at like 8 Fire Emblems, right?
We're at 6 Fire Emblems.
I thought it was 8, and then they made up 1/10 of the roster.
Is it?
I'm not too sure. I'm too lazy to count. My
nine
point is
9 Mario apparently.
9 Mario. Fuck.
It's
like my point is, there wouldn't be too much Mario if they added Paper Mario. That's all I'm saying.
No, there would be too much Mario.
Like Mario's the flagship, and he's only like one more.
I mean, Fire Emblem is making some of the biggest money for Nintendo right now. So
I think it's the fan art.
I think it's the gacha game. To be fair, Three Houses
The
has sold
official
like
art.
several million. Like it is done exceptionally well.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, why do you play a gacha game? For the arts. It's the artists, ladies and gentlemen. The artists have saved Fire Emblem, as they do with literally everything.
This is why Chris doesn't play the games I play because he can't find fan art of them.
Exactly.
That's why he's playing Girls Frontline because there's that in Spades.
There's fan art of that. It is ridiculous though, right? Like, I feel like that has such a sway, especially on like anime. You know, you see like fan art or like even just screen caps. Just anime is like the biggest word of mouth kind of thing.
Well, yeah, that's like part of its strength, I suppose.
And it's like I don't know anything about like, you know, Three Houses, but I'm glad we retweet art of it.
Honestly, I feel like the next Smash game should be something like completely different. You know?
Okay, so how about you have to get them to a certain percentage, right? And then you, in order to kill them, you have to hit them with a super.
I do it. I fucking do it.
While I was saying that, I was trying to remember like what it actually was because I forgot.
No, it's exactly that. It's
like,
so bad. It's so bad. A turn-based racing game. That's cosmic. Yeah, I feel like probably still keep it a general fighting game, obviously, but like different format, different structure, something. Like radical overhaul.
I mean, if they want to include a bunch of these characters, because obviously for Smash and fighting games, you have to put in a shit ton of work for movesets, frame data, balancing.
Yeah.
But for like a kart racer, you just put their model in and they're like
just tweak the
CTR.
stats.
CTR is like putting bottom of the barrel characters in. Just because Crash doesn't have anything else, but also like just because they can, you know. Because it's easy enough, probably.
Really, what I'm saying is I want, like, like the dev team that made, like, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom to make a Smash Bros. I want a 3v3 hyper fighter that's just goddamn batshit and off the wall. Where you can just, like, triple kick someone into the wall, put off one of your supers, interrupt it in the middle, swap characters, hit them once, and activate a new super, and just...
Wait a second.
All this other shit.
You're just saying that you want Smash to be a traditional fighting game.
Yes.
I'm on to you.
No, but really, I specifically want it to be Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, because that game is just bullshit the video game. It's glorious.
From Nintendo? No way.
That's what I'm saying. Don't. Like, make an extra farmer out to Capcom.
But they can't do online.
Or, Arc System works. One of the two.
Oh, wait! It's perfect! 2 peas in a pod!
Exactly. This system works. But yeah, if you wanted your brick, like, do that. I want to see, like, Super HD Mario in, like, the ArcSys, like, anime engine.
I want to see Mario in Unity.
A Fire Emblem fighting game would be great. Like, actually, that's the one you should let ArcSys do, honestly. That would fit right in. It would sell, it absolutely would.
There's only so many weapons.
It's kind of weird to me that we got a Fire Emblem like Dynasty Warriors before we got a Fire Emblem fighting game. Honestly.
And everyone goes, what are you talking about? This is the least memorable game ever made. You have anything else you want to talk about?
For Smash? Not out now. I think I kind of hit. in general, or
Yeah.
do you want to talk about Pokemon?
Oh yeah, sure. Pokemon is just another fucking Smash. You know?
I disagree outright. I think the DLC looks pretty sick.
No, 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 no. Not the content, Gavin. The controversies.
Alright.
It's just like
The hordes of like actual 10-year-olds who don't understand anything.
it's just I feel like Pokemon was the meteor that hit the planet, that hit the internet, and then now all the or no, the nuke, not the meteor, the nuke that hit, and then all the fallout is now hitting us with just a bunch of people being dissatisfied with everything. And it's just like I'm kind of getting tired of it. Oh, as is like everyone, probably. Oh, that's not gonna work. I still like know the timing for this. It's so ridiculous. Oh, he still got it. Missed. Oh, I missed. This kinda sucks, because usually Gavin calls out when a boss is about to hit me. No. Sit yourself.
Alright, I'll have to mute again in a few minutes, but alright. But, what did you last say on the Pokemon subject? Because I'm blanking.
Just how hateful the internet is of everything
Oh, yeah.
at the moment.
The thing is, at least from my perspective, it's been like this for, at least a year, if not more. Like, something about the Switch seems to have just brought out that sort of, like, hyper-offensive, especially, like, Vita-oriented fanboy, who demand ports for everything and also scream every time things don't go 100% exactly like their fantasies. Hang on.
Oh yeah, Kevin gets it. Or if he didn't get it, he probably gets it now. Woo. It's like I want to say things, but I don't want to say them without Gavin, you know what I mean? This is a team effort. Whoa.
Alright. Yeah, like, no, because this sort of behavior has been going back to, like, at least E3 last year, where, like, Animal Crossing fans were, like, being the shriekiest, whingiest people on the face of the earth because, oh no, Animal Crossing... What?
Oh, Animal Crossing.
Yeah, Animal Crossing. Like, because, oh no, it's like, they didn't give us a release date at this point, or oh no, they didn't show all whole new things, or oh no, it doesn't look like, I don't know, The Last of Us 2 graphically.
I mean, they're right on that one.
They're not. And, yeah, it's been that sort of thing, like, Nintendo fans have just been this, like, extremely toxic, extremely shrieky people for a while now. It goes back to stuff like how, you know, like, Sakurai and other Smash, like, tangentially related people were harassed heavily and openly to try and get inexplicably Waluigi in the game and shit like that.
And even then, it's more than Waluigi. It's just everyone.
Oh, it's more than yeah, like it's the Smash fan base in general.
Which is just,
But that's just that was the element of it at the time.
That was the biggest one.
Yeah.
I believe it's not a lot. But it's just like the Pokemon Direct was announced, and I was like, well, what? Like everyone else, what the fuck are they going to talk about? The game just came out.
Yeah, I was kind of like, how the hell? Like.
But then I had a bad feeling about it, and I was like, why does this announcement fill me with like a feeling of nausea? And then I pinpointed it. It's no matter what they say, there's just going to be more of the Dexit stuff. It doesn't matter what they say. It's going to be tangential to something that they don't want, and then there's going to be a big old fuss. And sure enough, it was exactly that. It was DLC, which is like, oh, so you put out an unfinished game and then you want us to pay for the rest of it? Which, like, honestly, isn't like entirely wrong, but at the same time, due to the circumstances that Game Freak are in, it makes sense.
The thing is, I would argue it's less that they put an unfinished game and more that they didn't get to make the game as big as they wanted to.
Yeah. It's like putting in 200 more Pokemon. That was funny. There were some people that were like, I wasn't really interested, but then they said, Goog was one of them even. It was like, but now that they're putting in like 200 more Pokemon, like I feel better about it. It's like, like an actual proof that they're trying to bring it back, and that was the circumstance all along, kind of thing. But then again, Luke doesn't keep up with news at all, so he was probably back in the like, they're reusing models mindset. I mean, remember that months ago?
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I remember even saying to you, back when like the Dexit thing was big in the hat or whatever. Like, I think it was on one of these. Like, they're just gonna add them in the next thing, like the next installment of the series, over the next few installments, whatever. They will add them back in. It's the same. Same story it's always been. And sure enough, it was the same story it's always been. But people are acting like it's some new travesty. It's like, have I been the only person paying any sort of attention since I was like 6 years old to this shit? Am I the only one?
I mean, as of recent times, the only thing they added in the third version of the game was the loop shooter.
No, they added in Pokemon that weren't available in the previous versions. They've been doing that for a while. That's the thing, like, Pokemon Sun and Moon, couldn't get all the Pokemon in that one. You had to, like, own other games to get them. But that's been the case for, like, fucking years. Like, Pokemon Sun and Moon, Pokemon X and Y, like, Alpha, Sapphire, Omega Ruby. They've been doing that for ages. Like, in fact, I'm pretty sure X and Y in particular had a noticeable dearth of, like, Gen 3 Pokemon because they were preparing for Alpha, like, Alpha Sapphire, Omega Ruby. Like,
I think that's different, though.
Not at all.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but they said that Pokemon, they'll release Pokemon Bank later, and that's when you can move all your other Pokemon in. And then here they said nothing.
No, they said that. They said you'd be able to move all your Pokemon over to Pokemon Home. They have
all the Pokemon
always
that were in the deck
said that.
Wow, I did it too early.
That's kind of the thing. Like, this is part of like the lies that formed up all of this. No, like, they did say you'd get all your Pokemon eventually. And also,
I don't think they said that. I think they said we're gonna try to add more.
And also,
nothing concrete.
Like, even then, it's still the same story the series has always been, where as more games come out, you get more access to your old Pokemon again. Like, that is how the series has worked across its entire life. Like, from the moment
but you could get every Pokemon in the first game. And then the second one was when you could actually catch them if you didn't have those games.
Sorry? Wait, when you say first and second one, what do you mean?
Yeah, Sapphire and Emerald. Oh,
Actually, not even then, because to get all the Pokemon that were available at Gen 3,
yeah, no, that
you
was just an
also had
example of what I
to...
was talking about. You stupid bitch. You idiot.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Black 1, Black 2. Ultra or Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon.
What about them?
The third version,
Yeah.
which is yeah. Ah, second game. Radimus, take that. It worked. What a legend. Oh. Oh yeah, we are only down to 3 people, so yeah, keep it real. Okay, when I accidentally say this way when I mean to say help. That to be the claw grip. Sorry about that. It's the cable. Dark time. Oh, no, I think we lose. I'm out of special, so we have the Tentabella at least. Gotta dig through these guys. There we go. Just hope my teammates are backing me up. I can't jump.
Right.
That's a problem. Oh, there he is. I'm dead, one.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. It wasn't gonna happen, but I had some hope. Ow.
That is the point, like, there were people who obviously complained about the Metroid Prime 4 delay, but there was nowhere near the level of all these ones. These controversies, like, you know, some people were like mad and they're just like, oh, you don't understand, this is actually really good for the game and all the rest of it. But for the most part, people were like understanding and all. And then just each thing like that after this, it's just been like, you know, nuclear holocaust.
Wait, the delay or the fact that Metroid Prime 4 hasn't existed for like a decade and a half?
The delay.
Oh, okay. Well, I think in general everyone is just pretty accepting of delays now.
Yeah.
Like what? Final Fantasy got delayed. Everyone's like, whatever, and then other people were like, good.
I was
Now
briefly annoyed because I had like a 5-day weekend thing I could have arranged for it. But yeah, it got delayed to the start. It got delayed to Good Friday, which is the start of a 4-day weekend. So it's like, you know what? Yeah, that's fine.
Good enough.
I think, yeah, good enough. Like, that's fine.
It's like now March is free. You know, all the games released in March aren't basically dead on arrival.
What was really funny was when Final Fantasy jumped into April, Cyberpunk jumped straight out of April. Like, just a few days later.
Look, but you can't blame them.
No, not at all.
It's so funny because their explanation was so generic. It's like, yeah.
It's like, yeah, no, they're fucking fleeing Final Fantasy. They're getting away from that. Which is entirely fair, yeah.
And even then, like, does anyone even care about, like, getting games sooner anymore? Because I certainly don't. I used to when I was a kid, but then I guess it's like the backlog or just
there's enough to be getting on with. And if you
I'm like, it's gonna come eventually anyway. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't have to play it now. It's not like, you know, because I mean, in the era where like, you know, you guys would always get games later, that would piss me off. You know, delaying it in Europe for a month, then that would actually be bad because then everyone else would be playing it and then talking about it, and you'd be missing out, and then it wouldn't be cool anymore.
Was my experience for years. I loved being basically a complete year late with Smash Brothers Brawl inexplicably for no reason.
I think that might be partially why, because now everything's just released everywhere at once,
Yeah.
which is such a great change for the industry, man.
And like the
It's
most,
so good.
when it isn't usually the most, it is like a Japanese game is released in Japan a few months ahead of us, and it's like that's fine.
Yeah, it's Japan, and it's like, well, they have to translate two languages or two types of writing or something.
I mean, and it's also it's just like I'm not I'm not gonna be like following people who can like spoil that for me or anything anyway. So
And even if you are, it's all in Japanese,
you just
so you can't read it.
yeah.
Sorry, it's all in kanji, so you can't read it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's basically the language barriers, the real thing that makes it not so bad.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, the Japanese people are talking about it, but what are they gonna do? Draw fan art of it? That isn't even spoilery.
Yeah, basically.
Sure, I'll take it. That just makes it even more hype.
Whereas when it's like Americans getting it first, they absolutely will spoil every single thing, and you just have to like completely follow like people who don't speak English, otherwise you're gonna see it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really cares about delays. But the Metroid fans were definitely ornery about the game not coming out. So when it came out, that was a huge relief for everyone.
Oh yeah, no,
else,
that's absolutely it, because the series is being neglected into the toilet. Like, to the point that it was beginning to seem like uncomfortably deliberate.
Did you hear that new rumor that there's going to be a new 2D Metroid and a traditional Paper Mario coming? Like, once I read the traditional Paper Mario thing, I'm like, all right, and it's baked. Why is this even in my sight right now?
I know.
How did this make it?
Like, I fully get you, because you hear that and you're just immediately like, you are lying through your teeth, and you know it.
Like, it's possible, but like, if it's a rumor, it's obviously just, who's the biggest like subset of fans that we can reach who will make the biggest fuss about my rumor?
Exactly. Yeah.
The Paper Mario fans, they're pretty good at doing that. So.
And the thing is, I'm just gonna say like I already know that there's going to be a 2D traditional Metroid coming, because at the end of Metroid, like Samus Returns, like the 3DS remake of Metroid 2, they teased Metroid Fusion, which like that would be a natural like Switch remake of Metroid Fusion, would be incredibly natural, especially in that style. They are like in design wise actually remarkably similar games in a lot of ways. In the vein of their own series, and like the general structure and how they handle it. So like that would make an immense amount of sense to for the the same developers who made Samus Returns on 3DS to make Metroid Fusion on Switch. And given Nintendo is in like the remake mood very heavily, like it's kind of yeah, makes sense. They're gonna do it.
Wait, this isn't Pokemon. What are we doing?
We wandered, following the subject more of Nintendo controversies than Pokemon.
Isn't that what Pokemon is now?
Basically.
It's just a big Nintendo controversy when you think about it.
The thing that gets me is that I have directly seen people say to people who are like screaming that this is a DLC paywall and this is like horrible and illegal and all the rest of it, that you can still get all the Pokemon without paying.
Yep.
Like, which is an important thing to stress. You can do that. Like, you will have all the Pokemon again. You can do that when Pokemon Homes comes over. Every Pokemon in, you can just put them over and bring them over. You can do that. But I've seen people say this to their face with proof and explain it, and I've just seen the people that are responding to almost like robots just edit out of their perception and just repeat, "This is a paywall and I hate it," like word for word. And it's like, what are you? Like,
it would be a paywall if you got polished for the original game when you bought the DLC.
Yeah. No.
I mean, it's not even like Iceborne, is it? Where like, if you buy the DLC, you can get the Pokemon like on your main journey or whatever.
No.
Yeah, the
new ones are like all the new ones, like in terms of being released in the wild, are like are like capped like their DLC areas.
Like, I guess technically
You could
it's
technically trade for them in the
trade
main
it,
game,
yeah.
but you know,
But that, yeah, I was just thinking it might be like a jealousy thing. That's not.
it's not. And I genuinely want to repeat this. I saw a comment literally try to like claim this as evil because, and I quote, children would have to use like an online Pokemon black market to get the Pokemon they want. And it's kind of like, what the fuck are you on?
I mean, we have to do that for Dittos now. So
Well, that's the other part of it, is that people already do that. You know, like people already
yeah,
do
for
that.
the shinies.
That's where people get their shinies or get like their fucking like
Remember-
6 IV Japanese Dittos.
Remember the GTS?
Yeah.
That was a Pokemon Black Market. You want this Pokemon? Give me your kidney. That was essentially
That was
give me your
yeah.
legendary that you can only get one of.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, you know, here's my like bullshit combination of Pokemon that is technically impossible to get, but I still put the request up just to tease you with this thing I hacked into the game. Haha. Like
Yep.
that was it. It was an officially sanctioned Pokemon black market essentially. Like that happened. All of this has been happening anyway, and guess what? A lot of people in the Pokemon fandom will just hack these things in and give them away for free because they're
Yeah.
just like that. They just want people to have these things. Maybe they want, you know, like clout or attention or good feeling. Maybe they genuinely want people to be able to make competitive Pokemon. Like any number of things. Like didn't Smogon for a while have a whole thing where they just like hacked like competitive ready like shiny Pokemon and just did giveaways of them and shit?
Yeah.
Like there you go. This
Smogon, like a huge, easy to recognize thing, hacking Pokemon in the game.
yeah, like
It's like not even a thing.
exactly. It's a, there you go. Like this has always been the key. This is what it keeps coming back to. Is this has always been the way. Why is it a problem now? Because don't get me wrong, some of it is shitty. Like the whole, you can't get every Pokemon in this generation unless you buy like fucking 5 different games. Was always shit. But like this is like the least shitty instance of it ever, and you're screaming like it's bloody murder. Like,
Yeah, it's basically just like it's not bad because everything in the direct was cool.
yeah,
It was, you know, like literally everything they showed off was amazing.
exactly.
And, they're adding Pokemon back in, and it's extra content. And what else? They're adding a bunch of stuff. They're adding the move tutors, which, like, you know, but it's DLC. It's not a third version,
Yeah.
which is the big thing because everyone was sick of the third version. It literally served no purpose. It had no reason to exist. So
No, you know,
it's just a step in the
it had the reason to exist of money, but
yeah. It's definitely a step in the right direction. Like they're being like, despite being crushed underfoot by the Pokemon Company, they're still, you know, making like this is definitely like the most progressive generation if you don't count making every single Pokemon a model. You know.
yeah. Like I genuinely argue that Pokemon Sword and Shield is the best designed of any of these games. Or like,
And like in X, it's like with X and Y, where like the next game is probably going to be the best thing ever now that they got all that kind of establishing
yeah,
shit.
it's the iterative nature of the series.
Straight away.
That's kind of how it works, you know.
So it's like this DLC is great. It's really just it just comes down to I wish they had more time to maybe even just put this in the base game. But
Yeah.
like I like the only real criticism I could understand is like making it paid, I guess. Like people who don't want it to be paid, I can understand where they come from, but I'm like, we'll see when the game comes out if it has the content. It seems like it does though. But even then, like,
I don't know.
it's not Game Freak's fault that the base game was pretty rushed.
Like
still
I don't
thing,
agree with
isn't
like, oh, it should have been free. Like, no, I don't think that should be fair. Like, they are making, like, it's nice when developers do that, but if they want to charge money for it, like, by all means.
At least it's not $60 total.
Yeah.
That was the big thing. Like, if it was, then we'd have a problem. We'd have a pretty big problem, I think. I mean, but even then, what if it was, you know, one was half of the game that you bought? Like, then it would add up to the same price. It's weird. Pricing is weird.
Yeah.
Well, like, otherwise, like, it's just a good call in general, I think.
It is,
It's just, you know,
It's something
just
like they honestly should have done a while ago. And granted, while like to an extent, it was like, you know, you're on the 3DS. How are you gonna do a DLC expansion on that? I had no idea, but I don't know how like Fire Emblem Fates Revelations worked. I don't know if that just technically downloaded itself as a separate game or whatever. But you know, like this is absolutely like a good step for the series in general.
it's really just like the people who weren't interested in Pokemon or were frustrated with the direction it was going in were just going to be frustrated anyway.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not even like per se the direction that it was going in. Like it's not like they were
I mean, the
making
direction
a
going in is a yearly release because they have to fit a time quota.
because the Pokemon companies like give us that money. Like nah.
Yeah. That is the problem.
That is
you know?
that is wholly and solely the goddamn problem.
That's literally it, you know? It's nothing that Game Freak themselves can do. If you want to complain to the Pokemon company, but even then
It's like what I said in my fucking
what can they do?
like yeah, like my like, review of Pokemon Sword was like, you know, in this three-way partnership where two of them are like giant global multi-billion-dollar corporations and one is a developer studio with like 180 people tops, who do you think has the most say? And one of these like giant corporations solely exists to manage and make the most money out of this IP. That's literally its sole reason for existing. Who do you think has the most say in this? And like, apparently a lot of people believe it's the tiny little developer, and I just had to say to them, hey, you know, the Earth is flat.
I'm not sure what that has to do with it, but did I mention that, like, with the whole, like, people not wanting it to be paid, or at least, you know, $30 or whatever, that, like, Pokemon is, like, the richest company ever, and then Sword and Shield continued to be the richest thing ever, you know?
Yeah.
It would be nice if it was free, because, like, you know, you think about Shovel Knight, and it's like, okay, you know, they've been working on this game for 6 years, and all of their huge updates that essentially double the game again are free. I think, you know, the Pokemon Company and Game Freak can afford that, but...
I mean, it's never a case of can
deal.
afford it. That's always the thing to remember. It's never like an issue of can you afford it. Like,
I mean, I don't think that's entirely true, but like for big companies, yeah.
yeah, I mean, and even like in the case of Shovel Knight, much as like Yacht Club are great and all, you have to remember that when Shovel Knight came out on Switch,
they sold a shit ton.
It sold like what, like over 1 million on Switch alone. Like it sold like a massive percentage, like well, you know, a sizable percentage of its overall sales came from the Switch the moment that came out. Like, don't get me wrong, absolutely insane that they released all that shit for free, but it's not like they were never, you know, they were never like reimbursed for that. It's a good business plan, don't get me wrong, and it's one that can easily backfire. But
it's like, you know, it looks good, but the Pokemon Company would rather not look good and have more money.
one company doesn't care.
The problem. Exactly, yeah. Which is the problem.
Which is, and you know, they're exactly right to not care because everyone blamed Game Freak.
I mean, everyone
will the Pokemon
everyone
company.
will still buy it anyway. So like,
yeah, and even
they'll buy it anyway.
Why care? And you know, they're not even actually going to blame us anyway. So like, I don't get people who like you can show them that Pokemon, you know, new Pokemon game always lines up with the release of an already made, like fully produced season of Pokemon anime and like lines of toys and everything for these Pokemon dedicated stores in Japan, and they still go, yeah, but they could have just allowed the game. It's like, you don't get it.
Didn't like something do that? Where it's like the merchandise and stuff came out first, and then the game came out after. Not like it was a merchandise thing, but it was originally going to be a game.
I don't remember anything offhand like that.
What am I thinking of? It's a familiar concept to me. But yeah.
Mamley says I almost feel bad for getting all the Shovel Knight expansions for free.
Exactly.
I mean, I feel bad because I didn't back Shovel Knight on Kickstarter. I just bought the game on PS4, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you also get them all free." And it's kind of like,
yeah, even people who didn't back it, and I was like, that's what I didn't know. I thought that if you didn't back it, you had to pay for them, but they're all just free anyway. It's like, It's literally 4 games in one.
Yeah, it's like that's nuts because the PS4 version, like it retailed brand new for 15 quid. That's peanuts.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
That's probably the thing, though. It's like, it's only this amount of money, and it's like 4 games in one, and everyone loves it. Like, you can't go wrong in buying it, so then everyone buys it.
Yeah.
And then it works because they end up selling more than like the people who sell it for $60 or one game for $60.
Yeah,
You know,
and when you keep it cheap like that, if someone gets a new system, like say they have a Switch, it's portable, and they go like, "Man, I want to have Shovel Knight on this," and they buy it a second time.
like, I have like a $100 budget or whatever. What should I buy?
Yeah.
And then everyone says Shovel Knight.
Because it's an insane value for money. And it's like, it really is kind of that thing of like, if you make a good game, pretty good odds people will buy it.
I don't know.
I mean, it's not. That's the thing. Like, it's not always universally true, but generally speaking, that holds up. It's why when you see stuff, like fucking Ubisoft saying, "Well, Assassin's Creed sales are down year on year," it's kind of like, well, yeah, it's kind of because you're making shit games. Like, no one wants to play them anymore. Like, FIFA's like player base is dropping all the time because like they've stopped caring about making the games anyway fun for the people who play them. It's like, no shit. Hammer's found apparently stats for the amount of people who got the expansions for free because Jakob posted them on Twitter. Well,
those guys just don't even give a shit. What budget?
I don't really. 2014, Shovel Knight released in 2015, 100,000 people got Plague of Shadows for free in 2017. 1.5 million people got Spectre of Torment for free yesterday at the time of this tweet. 2.5 million people got Showdown and King of Cards for free. Free games for 2.5 million fans. Have fun all. 2.5 million people got Showdown and King of Cards free because that's how many people have bought the game by that point. That's fucking nuts.
I'm just happy for them that they can get out of Shovel Knight hell and make something else that
like,
isn't going to be as successful.
Yeah, they're publishing someone else's game, like a game called Cyber Shadow, which is like,
oh yeah,
looks sick as hell, like exactly my shit. So that's one to jump on.
It feels bad, man. Like where developers make a huge hit and then they make a second game, and then people are like, well. It's not the first game, even though it's good.
Yeah.
Like, Bumbo is one. Into the Breach is another.
Who made Into the Breach?
The FTL people.
Ah, I didn't know that.
I mean, I haven't played it, and I haven't even really watched it, but I hear it's really good.
Nitrum are also making Shovel Knight Dig. I'm not even sure what that is.
It was like that. You don't even know what Nitrum is, right?
No.
Those are like my childhood. They made a bunch of browser games that were really good and had really good music to it. And it's like in their same exact pixel style, this Shovel Knight game, and it's so funny. It's like a blast from the past. I didn't even know they were so fun.
That's funny. Oh.
It's the game with the Mushroom Knight, if you've seen that.
No.
The small Mushroom Knight.
Nah, I've not seen that. Just let me climb the goddamn wall.
Speaking of like selling games for cheap, I wonder how the download guy is doing for money, because that game is always $1 or less.
He got hired by Nintendo, so I'm pretty sure he's doing pretty well.
Well, like as far as downwell sales, like what the money rolling in is like.
I mean, probably pretty well. Shit. Oh, he already quit Nintendo and all. Well, fuck. He moves fast. Oh. Say hello. Click. He's working in UFO 50 with a bunch of other devs. I'll watch the Shovel Knight Dig trailer after this. My only real reservations about the Pokemon DLC is that they claim they are built like based on areas of the UK still, and I sort of got the impression that the Isle of Armor was the Isle of Man because it's the most known coastal island spot of the UK, but they've also filled it with like fucking Japanese style pagodas and temples and shit. It's like that's not the Isle of Man at all. I respect that aesthetic and all, but I'm looking forward to it, but like it's not really UK at all. And then
this is your big problem.
yeah. And then they turned around and said that the Crown Tundra, this icy shithole, was based off of Scotland. It's kind of like, well, that's massively underwhelming. You could have done extremely fun things with Scotland, and you just made it a snow level.
We don't know that yet. They have the worst legendary of all time, but that's all we know.
There's that too. It's also extremely ironic that they call it the Crown Tundra, because like haha, the UK loves its queen and crown and all that, when Scotland has been angling to leave for years now. And respect for the queen is at an all-time low, given that one of her sons has outed himself as being friends with a known pedophile and like child trafficker.
Oh, but he's not the child trafficker, right?
Absolutely didn't fuck kids. Not at all. Couldn't possibly have. His brother is suddenly choosing to leave and no longer associate with the family? I wonder what that could possibly be. Couldn't possibly understand why he would choose to do that right now. Not at all.
I thought the controversy with him involved like sexism or something, or racism. One of those.
Oh, which one? Like the one who's leaving, or?
Just the prince.
There's a lot of princes.
Is there?
There's like 4.
I thought there was only one.
No.
And everyone fought.
No, there's 4 princes.
Oh no, that's the king.
What?
So it's one of them probably.
There's no king. There's no king right now.
Where is he?
The king's dead. There actually hasn't been a king, because it's like there's the queen and then there's the queen's husband, who is like who is the Duke of wherever the fuck. He's not called king. No, that's not how it works. Only the monarch born to the family gets the title of king or queen, and their spouse is just like the duke or duchess of wherever they get handed.
This is why monarchy died. It's just not as interesting anymore.
This is why the monarchy should be fucking dead, frankly. But
I mean, presidency isn't really working out for us either.
I mean,
so.
the monarchy doesn't do anything. They're literally like a formality. That's the point. They don't have any political power. They don't do anything. They are purely a formality, and one that drains our goddamn tax money.
They're just there because that's how it used to be. Isn't that nostalgic?
Basically, exactly that. And there's people in England who explicitly, love them and follow news about them anyway. And it's like, it doesn't make any sense. Sometimes, like, when you see that sort of thing, you sort of kind of believe that, yeah, maybe there are people who just choose to be born to be ruled. I don't know.
Like, doesn't it make history class a little more relatable? It helps our kids with learning, so I think we should put them in.
Not in Ireland, not at all. No, that's exactly kind of the point. PM for PM's sake, honestly, yeah. But yeah, honestly, right now, that's very much my only issues with the DLC. Anything.
It's not an issue.
It's an issue.
It's literally not
That
an
is
issue.
an issue.
You can't say you have an issue with the DLC.
I can, because that is a thing I have with the DLC. I think they aren't doing enough with their setting.
But, like, even then, like, at least to me, it just kind of felt like the most UK thing was the accents, which was fun. But, and then the Ferris wheel at the end. Because I've been on that Ferris wheel. Even though isn't like London. Oh, yeah, I'm thinking of the entire island, aren't I? But that is an entire island. Why is it at the top and not the bottom?
London isn't an island? What?
London is, at the bottom of that giant island it's on.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
And then it's at the top in Pokemon London.
Because they wanted like a progression where you move north and like further up the map.
But they always do that.
They don't always. They usually start in bottom left, loop around the map, and end in bottom right. And go
Remember
whatever
in
to find.
Black and White when you did half of a circle? That pissed me off as a kid. I was like, this isn't right. Wow, that doesn't even work. You got me king.
I was kind of interested with how, like, you gradually wind up Galar, but you also kept, like, swinging to, like, left and right to different places. Kind of like, that's an interesting progression feel, you know what I mean? It's not just, like, a circuit, exactly. I don't know, did they promise they'd patch Mass Effect Andromeda till it was perfect after release?
Too little, too late.
I kind of feel like they probably quietly wanted it to die after release.
Also, they made London look too happy and exciting.
I mean, they did that for the entire UK.
And not depressing, which is what it actually was.
Actually is, as is most of the UK, being a grey and rainy little shithole for the races.
Literally, it was like 2 or 3 weeks, I forget, on that island, and the entire time, the only time it actually rained was in London.
That's perfect. That's like empathic weather.
On the place where it's like known to be the rainiest place in the world. Like, I guess it technically rained in Ireland, but only for like 30 minutes. In certain parts of the mountain range anyway.
Yeah, we have very interesting wind patterns that result in stuff like that, where I can be just in city center and it's raining, and when I go home, like, I can see the clouds in the sky raining over time still.
Like, the only rainy day was when we were in London. Actually, was it rainy in No, I think it was just cloudy in Northern Ireland. And then we saw that giant wall with all the graffiti on it, and it was depressing.
Sounds about right. You know, just the marks of our civil war. Anyway, Galar was not depressing enough. 0 to 10.
Well, that is something you would say, apparently.
And who knows? Maybe they'll turn it around because, like, you know, the current Tundra literally isn't fucking finished yet. But from the first glance, it's kind of like, feels like you're not making the most of it.
I don't think it has to be based on anything. I don't think Pokemon have to be based on anything either.
Says the guy who got his, like, he regularly gets his home fucking region represented and everything.
Which was America.
That was Gen 5.
Oh, the best gen. Well, that explains it. Down here. It would be so much easier if you just popped that. Yeah! Well, what area of the United States was that supposed to be anyway?
As far as I understand, it was just meant to be like a very shrunken down, generalized round trip.
Wasn't the dude who had the ground gym, like, not in the South, though?
I don't know. I don't remember. Most I remember of Pokemon Black and White as being generally quite entertained until Sharon showed up, and then I fucking hated everything.
That's at the start of the game.
No, that's every time. That's like every second gym where he shows up and rants for 10 hours about fucking power and how he says, I need power and everything while using the weakest goddamn Pokemon to ever live.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. While watching more Pokemon Sword, Hop really only talks about his fucking brother and wanting to be the champion.
Yep.
He's not as good as people made him out to be, or how he seemed at first glance.
I mean, it's easier because he is generally like a cheery person. Also, hello, Top Fall.
Like Kasha was playing it. It's like all the character progression. He's normally happy and now he's sad.
I mean, that's still more than what most Pokemon games give you, so...
Fucking bastard. Do they think they can start doing this now? Is that it?
Probably.
We could just not even name our characters.
I wish Bahop killed Bede, honestly.
No one knows how to pronounce this.
Bead.
Bead. And
Fucking
then I heard
Bead.
I heard Bade as well. Just B. I heard.
How the
say.
hell did they say just B? There's a goddamn D in
And
there.
it's like the D silent. Oh, that works.
Jesus fuck! I forgot about Anthem. Yeah, remember Anthem?
No.
Good.
Actually, I think NL streamed it, and I just didn't watch them because they weren't interesting.
That's Anthem in general. It's not interesting.
Is that the battle royale where you like fall
No,
in?
it was the Destiny ripoff. I kept trying to say it wasn't a Destiny ripoff, but it was.
Oh, right. I remember that joke. What was the battle royale?
There's a lot of those.
Like the maybe. What was it? I got him. Let's go.
I don't know. I generally liked Hop enough because like, oh, he's cheery. He has some like funny lines, and it was interesting to see him actually like completely change his team at one point, which is again a lot more than you usually get in these things. Yeah, where like Sharon doesn't change his team from day one, and I'm still just like when you're one-shotting every goddamn thing in it with one Pokemon, and he's just talking about how powerful he is, and it's kind of like I'm gonna. If I could fucking beat the shit out of you in person, I would. Whereas on the flip side, you know, like, Bianca was actually like a very fun character. Who had an interesting moment with her dad where it was like, you know, like, let me alone, I'm like an actual kid. And he's like, yeah, you're an actual kid. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You shouldn't be out here in the world.
I was gonna say his dad was right. Like,
yeah, her dad was right.
It doesn't really work when the dad is right. I think
he was right, and it was just a very interesting thing to see them try and tackle. And you know, and then Elsa comes up and just goes, yeah, but I am rich and famous, therefore, and then that's it. And Dad's just like, I have been owned.
good job, team. I'm so surprised that we didn't pop that.
Oh shit.
Wow.
Whoops. We're basically like playing until we're done, I guess.
Yeah, until we're done talking. Since this isn't gonna be like every other day, it's like probably shouldn't take anything we want to talk about and then wait till next time.
Yep.
Found it. Oh, well, I did.
Where?
Because I'm a legend. Once again, it's at walls. I'm dead.
Yeah. Well, I clicked it like twice. Rip. I'm not streaming 10-10 again tomorrow.
I don't even know if I am too because it resets your progress. Like, how far can I get? Anyway.
Yeah.
Especially since I think I have to go meet a dog
In the middle
like,
of it.
in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So I won't be able to actually make any progress.
Also, I've had enough streams for a bit, and I'm just gonna fuck off into ether for like 2 days. Because I did genuinely want to stream a bit less, so I had more time to do other things. So,
Like what?
write stuff, mainly. Play video games. Stuff that I'm not playing on stream, because I want to play them alone, by myself.
Well, see, now you're just not optimal to be like that.
it's also just kind of like I have run out of my social energy and I have to go to goddamn Dublin on Wednesday for work, and it's just kind of like we're preaching like the this fuck off point where I just recede from the world for like 2 days. So one day you'll play video games off stream consistently.
Only hashtag mobile games.
We'll get you started on a fighting game and then you'll go to EO and that'll be it. I don't know any other tournaments outside EO.
Smash and Splash. It's like the worst name for a tournament ever.
That was an actual one?
Yeah.
Damn. I mean, I guess the only other one I know is like the Pokemon BGC. And like the Nintendo, whatever the fuck Invitational was at E3. Nintendo World Championship, that's it. I guess on that note, what do you feel like playing next in terms of stuff?
Solo games.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
I think for the past 2 months.
you've been playing. Yeah, no, I don't mean that. Like,
Exclusively go on.
that's entirely understandable. Don't get me wrong, I fully understand that. But like, I mean, like, what are you kind of like angling for? Is it just Crash Team Racing?
Oh, you mean in general?
Yeah, yeah.
Not with you.
Yeah. That's
Oh.
what I mean. Yeah.
I have a whole list. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I just have to actually play them.
Fair enough. So you actually have like an order and shit sorted out more or less, or just like a general idea?
More or less, yeah.
Sick.
Games higher up on the list, but I don't want to say because...
Oh, you know, that's fine. Like, don't say because you don't want to feel pressured to do it or whatever. But yeah, no, by all means.
Like, once I realized the CTR Christmas event was, like, over, I was like, oh,
Kind of dumb.
yeah. Started something else.
That's valid. Good night, Emily. Thanks for coming out and watching. It's like midnight his time.
Yeah, we're almost done. What? How did I do that? It's still fun. It's still a fun game. I want to,
Still need to watch that VOD he did.
It's 45 minutes, so it's shorter than most.
Yeah. Nice and comfy.
Oh, I did all I could.
Yeah, I'm just hoping it's ones where like you're not gonna be like, well, I'm gonna shoot fire for the next day. I'll be like, well, I can't watch Chris again for like 5 months.
I think that's up there. That's
I mean, I don't doubt that it's up there. It's like, I hope that's not the next immediate one.
It might be.
Oh, fuck me then. Alright, I guess I'll have to start playing it too. I do need to start something in my own time now though, because I've finished a bunch of shit. Luigi's Mansion's on the stream list, so that won't be next. Probably do Zelda, because it should be relatively quick, and also I'm interested in getting a 2D Zelda in anyway. I will finally play Fire Emblem Three Houses, don't worry.
We're up to 4:30. We haven't played the game in eons, and we still got it.
Beekeeper hat. Swap for cash is always so disappointing because I'm already at the cash cap.
Like, I was like, I could play on my account just to get, like, just to keep getting chunks, and then I remembered the money aspect of it, and I'm like, yeah, I might as well play on loots. It'd get more use, that's for sure.
Alright. Well, that'll be us for the night, I take it.
Yep.
Well, that's been Salmon Run. It lives once more.
It went for longer than I thought, too.
Yeah. Thanks for coming out, thanks for watching, and good night, fellas. See yous.